Louie Barry is reportedly linked with a loan move to Birmingham City from rivals Aston Villa. The 21-year-old forward had an impressive stint at Stockport in the 24-25 season, with 23 appearances, 15 goals, earning him the League One Player of the Month for both August and November. But in January, he was recalled back to Villa and was loaned out to Hull. He's been out for the rest of the season, but prior to his injury, he scored no goals, no assists for a short time at Hull. A dynamic forward who primarily plays out on the left wing, but can play as a striker or a right winger. He's around 5'8", 5'9". He's quick, he's agile, and he's a good goal scorer. According to Transfer Market, his estimated market value is €2 million, which in pounds is roughly 1.6 million. However, rumours are it will be a loan move, which according to website Capology, at Hull, he was paid a weekly wage of £7,000. He's represented England at youth level and is also a former Barcelona player. And speaking of former players, Lee Hendry of Aston Villa has said that he's heard a lot of reports and a lot of whispers, and that he wouldn't be surprised if he ended up going to Blues. He says he did brilliant things at Stockport, got injured at Hull, and that's what hampered him really going on, kicking on, and proving that he was well worthy of playing in the Championship. They've got a really good manager at Birmingham who plays a nice style of football that suits Barry's game. He's versatile, can play through the middle, out wide, which would suit Birmingham as they've got players that can chop and change throughout their front line. I think Louie Barry would be a great addition for Birmingham City, particularly going into the Championship with new, fresh ideas. Yeah, I mean, it all sounds good, doesn't it? I mean, I don't give a fuck about what Lee Hendry thinks about the Blues, but, I think like what we're seeing from Barry himself, he seems like a pretty decent player. We do definitely need winger options, in my opinion. That's the sort of area that we definitely chop and change from last season, with Hansen and Scott Wright being injured. So I can see the thinking behind it, but to be honest, I just don't really want this to happen. It's a bit of a weird one, but if I'm being honest, right, I'm sick of old Villa players being at Blues, really. Now, granted, Louie Barry is already a better player than former Villa players that we've had in Scott Hogan and Gary Gardner, bless him. He was alright under Monk, he just sort of faded away with everything else. But I don't know, I like Louie Barry, and I think he's a decent player, don't get me wrong, but it's just the principle for me, really. No more Villa players. And also, as well, if you look at the recruitment that we've been doing recently, with players like Clara, Williamson, Iwata, Paik, even though he's technically last season's signing. I'd prefer if we kept looking abroad, because what we're finding is hard-working and affordable players that are definitely going to come to us because they're playing a lesser known league, so very few people know about them, so they don't put a bid in for them. So I pursue that route, particularly if we're going to keep pinching players like Clara or Paik or Iwata. I'm all for that type of approach to the transfer market, really. But with that being said, I wouldn't be upset with signing Louie Barry. It's not one of those ones where I'm going to be like, if he signs, I'm going to be throwing my arms about and moaning about it all the time and wishing him to do badly or anything. I like him. I think he's a good player. I saw him occasionally for Stockport last season. I thought he's got some really good talent. You don't go to Barcelona for nothing as well. It's just the principle for me, I just don't like the idea of having another ex-Villa player. It's a bit silly, I understand that, but at the same time, it's like, we're moving forward now and we're trying to catch the Villa up in the next few years. So I don't really want to be having all their old hand-me-downs, really. Just because, as well, of all the great signings we've done recently under this new recruitment strategy, I can see the ideas behind that and the whole thought process of getting them in for cheap and, affordable. The quality of player that we get as well is just massively different to any of the players that we've gotten recently. So yeah, I don't know, it's a bit of a weird one for myself, but nonetheless, be sure to let me know what you think to this down in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more Blues news, and keep right on.